Bonjour, and welcome to FrenchTube, your ultimate destination for learning and enhancing your French skills. Join us on this enriching language journey. So, are you ready? Today, we're diving into one of the fundamental aspects of French grammar, the Passé Composé. The Passé Composé is used to talk about actions that happened in the past. In this video, we'll talk about the formation, usage, and nuances of the Passé Composé, ensuring you have a solid understanding by the end. In this section, we'll break down the formation of the Passé Composé, including the conjugation of auxiliary verbs avoir and être in the present tense, and how to match them with past participles. The two most common auxiliary verbs used in the Passé Composé are avoir, to have, and être, to be. Here are the conjugation of avoir and être in the present tense.
Avoir, j'ai, tu as, il, elle, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils, elles ont, j'ai mangé une pomme. Être, je suis, tu es, il, elle, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils, elles sont, je suis arrivé à l'école à 8 heures.
The vast majority of verbs in French use avoir as the auxiliary verb in compound tenses, including the Passé Composé. Here are some guidelines for when to use avoir. Transitive verbs. Verbs that take a direct object typically use avoir. For example,
J'ai mangé une pomme. Il a vu le film.
intransitive verbs. Many verbs that don't take a direct object also use avoir. For example,
J'ai dormi toute la nuit. Elle a couru dans le parc.
while most verbs use avoir as the auxiliary verb, there are some exceptions. Here's when to use être. Verbs of motion. Verbs that express motion or change of place often use être. These include verbs like aller, to go, venir, to come, and partir, to leave. Verbs of change. Verbs that express a change of state or condition often use être. These include verbs like devenir, to become, rester, to stay, mourir, to die. Reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs where the subject and object are the same also use être. These include verbs like se réveiller, to wake up, se laver, to wash oneself, se promener, to take a walk. Here are some examples for être using in Passé Composé sentences. Verbs of motion.
Je suis allée au cinéma. Elle est venue me voir. Ils sont partis en vacances.
Verbs of change.
Elle est devenue médecin. Il est resté chez lui. Mon grand-père est mort il y a 2 ans.
Reflexive verb.
Je me suis lavée. Tu t'es réveillé tôt. Ils se sont rencontrés hier.
When using être as the auxiliary verb, the past participle agrees in gender and number with the subject of the sentence. This means that the ending of the past participle changes to match the gender, masculine or feminine, and number, singular or plural, of the subject. For example, if the subject is masculine singular,
Il est allé.
if the subject is feminine singular,
Elle est allée.
if the subject is masculine plural,
Ils sont allés.
if the subject is feminine plural.
Elles sont allées.
On the other hand, with the auxiliary verb avoir, there is no agreement between the past participle and the subject. The past participle remains in its default form, regardless of the gender and number of the subject. For example,
J'ai mangé. Tu as mangé. Il a mangé. Elle a mangé. Nous avons mangé. Vous avez mangé. Ils ont mangé. Elles ont mangé.
in French, the past participle is used with auxiliary verbs to form compound tenses like the Passé Composé. The formation of past participles varies slightly depending on the verb ending. For verbs ending in e, the past participle is formed by removing the e ending and adding e. For verbs ending in hier, the past participle is formed by removing the hier ending and adding i. For verbs ending in re, the past participle is formed by removing the re ending and adding u. While many verbs follow these regular patterns, some verbs have irregular past participles that must be memorized. For example,
avoir, past participle. J'ai eu de la chance. Être, past participle. Été, ils ont été en vacances. Faire, past participle. Fait, j'ai fait mes devoirs. Prendre, past participle. Pris, elle a pris le train. Voir, past participle. Vu, j'ai vu ce film hier soir. Dire, past participle. Dit, il a dit la vérité. Mettre, past participle. Mis, nous avons mis les clés sur la table. Vouloir, past participle. Voulu, j'ai voulu partir tôt. Pouvoir, past participle. Pu, nous avons pu résoudre le problème. Devoir, past participle. Dû, j'ai dû annuler mon rendez-vous.
Voilà, you've reached the end of our comprehensive guide to the Passé Composé in French. By now, you should feel confident in your understanding of its formation, usage, and common pitfalls. Here are some exercises for you to practice. Pause the video and leave your answers below. Remember to practice regularly to solidify your skills and expand your French proficiency. Merci beaucoup for joining us today. À bientôt. This is the end of the video. If you like our method, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay updated with the latest learning videos.